Hello, welcome back to Pathologic. The game is not displaying in OBS. One moment. We did it. Okay. Welcome back. All gameplay will be provided via okay. Probably gonna finish the game today. It is 3:41 on day 11. Day 12 ends, I believe, at 7 o'clock at night, assuming I don't end it before then. So I'm probably going to stream a little long and finish this thing out. We have exactly 2 things left in the day. One of which is the little kids have lost their parents. They're going to be executed. Don't know where that's happening or what we're going to do about it. It's probably at the Bone Steak lot, is my guess. Because they were captured for causing the ruckus at the Bone Steak lot. I might walk by there. I might not. We might skip this. I don't know what to do about it. The other thing is we just got a letter 40 minutes ago from Artemy saying he has found the thing we've been looking for, the source of the disease. I'm pretty sure the works in a vault beneath the corpulent workshop is where he was taken prisoner. So we're going to go there and talk to him. Otherwise, I believe we've wrapped everything up. We'll need to treat people who are sick, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Get one last word from everybody who will talk to us, and end up making our final decisions. So with that, let's go find Artemy. After all this time, I do believe where Daniel and myself stand is the polyhedron is the only thing in this town that has functioned. It has kept about 700 children completely safe from harm. If our goal was to curb or stop the disease, this is the only thing that's done that. Everything else in the town feels like another potential disaster waiting to happen. And the Canes have their own plans for the polyhedron, which I don't quite understand, if I'm perfectly honest. And I also don't really care. If the Canes want to remake a new utopia under Maria's image or guidance or whatever the heck she's doing, I don't know that I agree with that plan, but I also don't know that I care. I feel like I cannot possibly understand here what Maria and the mistresses are all about, other than being some sort of vaguely mystical and magical, in a way that Daniel doesn't really believe in. Though I'm sure the game itself on other playthroughs will have other opinions. But I also recognize my idea of saving the polyhedron, because it's the only thing that works, means leveling the town, shooting everyone. And that's bad. That's a bad thing. It's definitely symbolic of Daniel's exhaustion with the whole system of this town at this point, deciding that everyone, that in fact no one, can be saved. That no one is worth saving. That's depressing and bad. Oh, okay, we'll run this way. Okay, got it. Oh, okay. There, found him. Honestly, wasn't sure it was that building. Okay. I've got good news and bad news for you, Oinon. I'm listening. You asked me to find out the exact location of the underground clot from which the sand pest bacteria could have gotten onto the surface. I did. Have you succeeded? Uh-huh. The thing is, it's everywhere. The deposits are sprawling beneath the whole town like kraken tentacles. They originate in the old cattle husbandry places on the other side of the Gorgon. The ground is soaked in it. Damn it, how did you find this out, Barak? Well, that is unchecked, of course, but the foreman of the butchers immediately knew what I was talking about. He said the deposits do exist. He drew the map of them sprawling underground. Oh, I wonder if that's the image of the bull that I see sometimes when I open my map. That's what that's a map of. It's a map of the town, but it's a map of the blood deposits. Where did they come from? It's a secret, Oinon. I cannot reveal it to you. It doesn't matter. It's obvious anyway. Ancient cattle burial grounds. You said you had more news? The good news is the deposits lie very deep. They're covered by so many layers of solid soil that no bore well could ever reach them. An extremely deep hole would have to be drilled to puncture those clots and spill their contents onto the groundwaters. But it has already been spilled, as you can see. What are the Abattoir's thoughts on the matter? The Abattoir's voice is my voice now, Oinon. And I'll tell you this. Oinon used to run things poorly. His bloodline was akin to mine, but he kept failing to learn the lines. He has committed numerous mistakes recently. I think it was he that dipped out the pest from the cavities 5 years ago. Okay. So he thinks Foreman Oinon accidentally released the sand pest last time. Back when Isidore just locked people in houses and crushed the plague immediately. What about now? I suspect that he tried to bury the pest in a steppe not so long ago. I have no idea why. That was the greatest sacrilege, and my father tried to intervene. He went to the steppe to re-enter this nightmarish burial ground. He must have burned it, but couldn't come out unscathed. You know how it went after that. How probable is it that your father failed to destroy that gulp? I have other things on my mind now, Oinon. Playing safe is pointless. I'm only thinking about mitigating the consequences of the disaster. I want the sand pest to be no more a threat to the local population than chickenpox is. Interesting. I feel like both of these are true statements. The town will have to be destroyed if you can't allow anyone to keep living here. But also, I did produce a vaccine. But As far as I understand it, we needed Simon Kane's body ground up into a dust inside the vaccine in order for that to work. It's been produced, but I don't exactly have the formula. Ruben does. And I'm not convinced it can be produced on a mass scale, or we'd be doing that already. Also, the white vaccine, while very, very good, only lasts a day. I became vulnerable again. Yes, I see. Nevertheless, it has already happened. The town will have to be destroyed. We cannot allow anyone to keep living here. Wait, Oinon. Do not give out hasty orders. I swear to you, by tomorrow morning, I'll find a way to produce so much medicine for the disease that there won't be a need to destroy it. By destroying the tower, right? Yes. But only if the people that need to be saved are alive. I've told you about them, remember? The kids that'll build a new town here in 10 years. A town even more beautiful than the current one. Even more beautiful, this ugly hellhole feels like it was specifically designed for artillery testing. Well, here's my map of the town. Blood clots and everything. Those are representative of the blueprints. They're angles and measurements of the polyhedron. They showed up as we've learned more and more about its design. Okay. Stick lot is somewhere around here. Let me go check there. This map of the bowl. You just zoom out on the town far enough and you see this. There's also a diagram of this in young Vlad's room. I think in Ruben's as well. If that's what this is, if this is a map of the blood clots in the ground from the ancient burial grounds, it's just everywhere. It's everything. I don't know how Artemy thinks destroying the polyhedron is going to create medicine. The fact that he won't tell me is extremely frustrating. I would like to think that we have done enough together that he could feel like he can trust me. I don't know why he can't. It ends up feeling like he has some ulterior motive. Like, even what I do understand about how his medicine works, he wouldn't need to destroy a building. He needs blood. That's how he makes medicine. The only blood he would get from destroying the polyhedron is the blood of the children, so thanks to that. The only people who have stayed not sick. Clara seems to think that if we just sacrifice the right people, the disease will go away because some people chose to die. That doesn't really work for me either. Even if she's correct, that's human sacrifices. And at least this Daniel specifically made a stance not to do that. This is where the execution might be. It's not here. I don't know where it is. We're getting exhausted, but we can start doing our rounds to check on everyone. Make sure Sticky never got sick. Sticky, you good?
Where did the bull go?
Sticky's good. That's good news. Aspity never got sick. Should be good, but you know, we'll just double check. There's no executor.
You're close. I know that.
Peter says he'll die if the polyhedron falls. Honestly, I a little bit believe him. Sabarov is sick. He can get a Schmouter. He'll live, but we'll destroy his liver. the children's shrouder. It should help. This will cripple them for the rest of their life. It will burn all their insides along with the plague. Are you sure you want to save them from the disease at this cost? Yes. Give it to them.
What?
Savarov is saved.
Only in things of small value, they usually are bold enough not to trust to appearances.
Okay. A pub and Kabayana Angels. Anna, I believe, also never got sick. More's the pity. Would ruin her liver, too. Wrong door. This door. Spend what money I have. Yep, Anna is safe.
I could have been a famous singer.
Laundry should also be good.
You saved my brother and me from being shot. But if you truly value my life so much, protect the tower.
This is really something, old boy. I don't have anything worthwhile, do you? You do have coffee. I could take coffee to lower my exhaustion at this point. Okay. That's everybody on this side. Grace I cured. Grace is okay. So let's check out Yulia. Everything looks good.
I should let some fresh air into the room, but I don't feel like it.
Maybe we'll sleep at Laura's. I want to head to the theater after midnight. I can't help but feel like I have to start wondering, did Daniel do anything that helped? You know? Like, there's some petty squabbles we handled. We kept these three women from killing each other accidentally. We took out Var, so we at least handled that situation.
I think I'm fading. My clothes are worn into holes.
I don't know where those kids' parents are. I'm going to sleep.
The day is over. Your timely efforts allowed your supporters to remain unharmed. A new mime performance is being rehearsed at the theater.
Evening letter from the Inquisitor, day 11. So be it. Tomorrow they are going to pay the full price of their arrogance. Each one of us will keep their word and fulfill their duty. We will appease the higher justice, and in doing so avenge ourselves. Not one of us is going to act against the truth. Congratulations, Dankovsky. Our elegant maneuver was a success. We took the winnings and placed our opponents into a position in which they have no other choice but to vanish. The council is tomorrow. Legal considerations require it be held in the presence of someone serving as a representative of the local authorities. The three ruling families are completely bankrupt, however, so the so-called mistress will attend the council in their stead. She will vouch for our intentions before the townsfolk. Do you have any binding obligations toward the families in power? If so, this may become an issue tomorrow. Be a shame if you weren't allowed to attend the proceedings. Alas, the law is the law, and I won't be able to do anything about it. I don't think I have any obligations. This is the last day we have left. The choice has to be made. Let's go to the theater to see our final mime show. It occurs to me that some of the people who have never been sick and never gotten sick may have gotten sick at midnight. Just not my bound. So we'll probably need to do a full orbit one more time if I want to check on everybody. Okay. Here we go. One last mime show.
Whatever you do, you'll have to sacrifice something.
Destruction is inevitable. There's no miraculous way out.
So that's what their thought process is, see? There was nothing to hope for from the start. Each of them should simply fulfill their purpose. At least, we'll see which one works best.
Each of them wants to save that which is dear to them. Perhaps they could get along?
Out of the question. The meeting chamber is tight, with the General sitting at one side of the table and the Inquisitor sitting at the other. Only one of them will decide. The others will die.
All the dead have been cleared out.
If we're in the majority, the fragile polyhedron will be left untouched. We'll manage to sustain life in it. Maria can do miracles.
Well, sure. I also thank you for saving my life, kind sir. Hats off to you. I'll have a chance to put my life to good use in the near future. That's what they'll all say, right? I still don't get it. You're an entirely different creature. How come you're in the same boat with the Utopians? What is there not to get, O esteemed and wisest of bachelors? I thought that the whole point of the Utopians' ideology was neglecting the laws of fate and the limits it imposes upon us. You are correct. Oh, the keenest of the astute. So what? I have cognized this side of existence from backstage, so to speak, from where the strings go and the machinery is hidden, and yet I willingly swore allegiance to the Utopia. Does that tell you nothing? Doesn't tell me enough. You are, as always, a double dealer. You know, I'm glad you're leaving. You're a dangerous person. Dealing with you would be an arduous task. You're back to being annoyed already. I was just planning to ask as to what you're going to do with your life. Me? That's ridiculous. It's very tactless of you to ask me a question like that. Oh no, no offense taken by me. You haven't offended me, after all. You've offended the Scarlet Mistress herself. My life belongs to Maria now, and I'm merely her humble servant. Always at her service. You know, I've just realized why you haven't been infected even once. You've never been among my volunteers. Kind of like that mark is still just creepy. I think the whole town is empty. Oh. Probably do still want to check on everybody. I just mean the streets. are empty of plague and bandit. I never spoke with Notkin, I don't think. I think at this point this is everyone taking their last bow. Young Vlad survives.
Interest speaks all sorts of tongues and plays all kinds of characters, even that of disinterest.
You saved my life, thank you. I'll have a chance to put a good use in the near future. Ugh. It feels gross, but probably correct that he's going to marry Maria. It's odd to find you among those people. Maria told me from the very start to keep an eye on you, but I thought it was about scheming and hidden plots. Yeah, well, that was an unexpected turn of events, even for myself. It all happened very fast, the last few days, I mean. But you're an abhorrent criminal. You have sentenced several thousand people to death. Their blood is on your hands. Yes, that's true. So what? I would be an even worse criminal if, having known of the impending epidemic, I wouldn't have taken urgent steps, but rather allowed the infected rabble enter the town. There was a hope that the disease would burn out if we boarded off, just like 5 years ago. It's just the role I had to play. I'm worried that a man like you, the one who was dealt this very role and played it all too easily, is suddenly among the utopians. There might be a higher purpose to that, you know? After all, Nina the Wild never held human lives in high regard. What are you going to do now? I'll serve Maria. I'll be her hands, her practical mind. I'll be her accountant and her chancellor. I'll estimate the price of her ideas and outbursts, and I'll estimate the price of her every dream. You know, it happens. Some business-like people are also surprisingly mad. Yes, I know. There's that map of the bowl. Find him especially gross. I don't believe that locking everyone in to die was his only choice. Especially since it didn't even work. It's possible people could have quarantined in homes or shelters or something. We could have checked people for infection and saved more of them.
If we, the outcast children, live, the town will grow to be a town of men. Capella will entrust us with it. We're the future of this land.
So this is Notkin. He runs a child gang. Never really had to talk to him. I think maybe once. The hell are you doing here, Doc? How do you know I'm a doctor? Everyone does. I'm Chieftain Notkin. See a big gray cat around here? Call him Artist. I will if he calls me bachelor.
In trouble, to be troubled is to have your trouble doubled.
If you didn't take care of me, who would breathe life into our town again? I will have so many things to do in 5 or 10 years. Thank you. Thank you. You think this town will still be able to take a new lease of life? Definitely. It won't be easy, of course, but life has to be fought for, otherwise it's not real. Do not tear off the umbilical cord that has been feeding all of us once the beginning of time. These things are already going extinct almost everywhere. Is it really worth the effort to do your best for the sake of such a wretched place? What about my friends? I won't be able to do anything without them. Are they alive? Is it possible to visit them already? Not yet, I'm not done. If Notkin held the secret to salvation the whole time, Artemy will know that on his run. Artemy is much closer to all of the children of town. That's why they're his bound. Okay. I believe I gave Bad Grief a panacea on day 10. I might be wrong about that. Right, I gave him a pharmaceum. Bad Grief gets a panacea. He is not a good dude, but he was always honest with me.
A dreamless man is a soulless man. We are a humble lot. We stick to no paths. Do as you will.
Thank you. I need to live a little longer, and there's one more thing that has to be done. My death will not be purposeless now. What kind of thing? I am to perform the most precious feat of all, the feat of self-sacrifice. I will do what Simon has done. Every single particle of my body and soul will become life-bearing, bursting with life and granting it to others. There will be no cannon fire. The town will continue to grow. The thread to the future will stretch from the very dawn of time. Do you really believe that it can be done? We are too few now. There's at least a dozen of us. It'll be enough for the town to expand further and beyond. Hopefully, the place where daydreams are captured and fulfilled will live to see 200 years more. And how many of those like me have survived? I don't care. I wanted to save your life, not for the sake of future sacrifices. Bad Grief is with Clara. I don't know what she did to him to make him think dying would somehow save the town, but that is what he believes.
What?
He says the exact same thing.
If there's enough people like me, the town will stay the same. We'll surrender ourselves to Clara unregretted. A rotten life belongs to the new mistress.
Okay. We'll go back through this way. Loop around. Make sure we hit Capella on the way back. I still do not trust Clara. Even at this point, acknowledging that multiple characters that she has claimed as her bound, which is backed up mechanically by the game, are all ready to make a sacrifice that will save the town without needing to shell anything. And I am aware that that must be what her ending is, saving both the tower and the town by sacrificing 7 specific people. The fact that they all say the same thing in the same way makes it really creepy. Like, it's just a cult. It is wild to me to feel like I haven't learned enough to understand what her ending is even like, but to know that I would have the choice to take it.
I think they've fallen out of love with me.
Grace says the same thing as Notkin because she is one of Artemis bound. Aspity is no one's bound. What does she say?
If there's enough people like me, the town will stay the same. We'll surrender ourselves to Clara unregretted. A rotten life belongs to the new mistress.
She's Clara's bound. I didn't realize that. Of all the things in every conversation I have had throughout this entire game, the fact that Aspity is willing to put herself on the sacrificial table for Clara is the best thing working in Clara's favor I have seen. I don't like Aspity. Aspity hates me. I don't understand her, but I believe her. She is earnest. It's wild that there's no plague and no burglars, but there is still rain. Somehow still upsetting. Make sure there's nothing going on in the abattoir. Or the termitary, rather. Pretty sure she was on this side. There's still dead bodies in here. I'm just curious if Mother Superior will talk to me at all.
everything.
Okay. Taya, the Mother Superior, seems to side with Artemy. She is not sick. I feel like I should have a checklist of everyone. Five cures left. Find out I didn't need to use any schmouters. I just ruined Sabaroff's kidneys for no reason. I'm just curious what the shop is like. Everything's still just crazy expensive. Okay. There was definitely a little bit of revenge in there. At least a little bit. I'm sure Sticky is with Artemy as well.
This joint won't break. It's made of metal.
Live, Sticky. You live. What building is this? Is this Isidor's house? Is that what this is? The initial plague house? The House of the Dead? Go by the Bumsteak lot one last time? Why not? Still the dead worms. Dear dong. I know I don't need any water anymore, but old habits. Okay. Peter should be good. I did my quest. I did my job. Is Sabaroff one of Clara's sacrifices? That'd be weird.
My path was called the Calligrapher.
They've neither let me forget my achievement, nor destroyed me. That means it's just the beginning.
What are you going to do with your life, Peter? Tell me. Here's what's going to happen. Part of the town on this bank of the river will be deserted. The people who will have found shelter in the specular cocoon will become its new inhabitants. What are you going to build? My brother and I will build the whole town. The cold hall will look like a mud pie in a sandbox compared to it. I've designed it in my mind already. Really? Tell me. I told you already the idea to construct a building with a variable density. Or was it someone else? There's also a knot house. There's a house that erupts from itself, an inside-out house, so to speak, but without the inside part. An encircled suburb that is at war with the center, a bridge suburb, and of course, a growing house that changes every week. How could you possibly invent all that? Are you really going to build all those things? That was an effulgent epiphany, a true eureka moment. My brother and I have planned the space already. We have laid roads, placed suburbs and districts. And when we saw the whole thing and realized how much energy was hiding in it, you know, we exchanged glances. It will rival the cities of the greatest ancient civilizations. I feel like I don't agree with either of these statements. That town of yours will only exist on paper. Like with the polyhedron, it will turn into a full-sized model of itself, made of its own designs. You're wrong, but why should I prove anything to you? Time will tell. Alright. I hope you stop sinking in the green whirlpool. The herb is pulling you to the bottom already. There's neither warmth nor light there. I can't help but feel like I am putting terrible people in power to continue to have their power, to expand their power. It's because they used me. It's like they're using the fact that the polyhedron saved 700 children against me.
What?
Yep. He's one of Clara's sacrifices.
If there's enough people like me, the town will stay the same. We'll surrender ourselves to Clara, unregretted. A rotten life belongs to the new mistress.
The tone I'm getting is Clara's sacrifice is going to restore the town to what it was. But what it was exploiting a native population for capitalism, with tensions between several royal families ready to tear it apart at any moment.
Yes?
You saved my life, old chap. Lovely. Soon you'll see that I won't let you down. Your gift is greatly appreciated and is going to be put to good use. What are you going to do with your life? Tell me. I finally realized what my part is, you know? I'm good at breaking through to where no one is supposed to, and I'm really good at breaking rules, at challenging and contradicting, but I have no idea how to build something. You're not alone, Andre. Exactly. There is no Andre, only the brothers Stomatin, the twins. We are worthless without one another, and together we are worth more than any of our old schoolmasters. For Peter's fantasies have no limits. He's too naive for that. And I have the genuine freedom of action. You don't conform to anything. And this is exactly why I'll be able to implement anything invented by Peter and blessed by Maria's love. Neither death, nor depth, nor the law itself will stop me. All in all, I'm staying. I love this future pyre. Makes me feel like a demiurge.
My hair is disheveled and coming out.
Anna is going to sacrifice herself to Clara. I was gonna say, is the secret that all of Anna's sacrifices are terrible people, but I don't think that's true. Grace has done nothing wrong. Clara's gift is being able to convince people that their death can mean something. So convincing that she has worked some very selfish people into that as well. It's still terrifying. I do like how all of Daniel's closest friends are telling him they're going to be terrible people. Like, Daniel just feels trapped. This is a bad idea, but there isn't anything else. Okay. Capella can have a panacea. I don't think she was always right about everything, but she looked out for the kids who couldn't look out for themselves. And I do believe she was always honest with me, even if I think she was wrong sometimes.
If the outcast children live, this chimera of a town will turn into a town of men. I will arrange it. Help me get into the cathedral, will you?
Vlad the Elder is dead. There's nothing I can do here. Mark. There shouldn't be anybody at the town hall. Both Block and Clara would be at the cathedral. We'll pop our heads in just in case. Two Panacea, two Schmouter. This should be the prison block that's locked. Commander block is here.
What?
So today is the end. At 2200 hours, we're taking the army southeast to the main road. At 2350, we're firing. Your choice will decide where the shells go, Surgeon. The council will be head at the cathedral at 1900 hours. What if you miss the target? Not from this distance, that's out of the question. What happens if I don't come to the cathedral? The Inquisitor and I will have a conflict. I don't think anything good will come of it. I'm so wary of her that I will have to break my instructions, I'm afraid. I'll risk falling into disgrace, facing a court-martial even. I can relate to you very well. Take my advice. Beware of the Inquisitor. They do say you're a refined analyst, but I wouldn't risk playing her game if I were you. It's better to hold a blind defense and not to believe a word. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. I don't know what the Inquisitor is playing at exactly, but I do not trust her. That's for sure. She seems to want to destroy the polyhedron, but I can't. Even to this point, I feel like she's never explained properly why. The plague feels like an excuse.
If there is enough people like me, the town will stay the same. We'll surrender ourselves to Clara unregretted. A rotten life belongs to the new mistress.
How does Clara convince Yulia? They walk in completely opposite worlds. What the heck happens in the Changelings story? It makes no sense.
It is not so dangerous to do wrong to most men as to do them too much good.
Not convinced Lara is ready to die for a cause. Feels like she's been trying to do that the whole time. Keep walking. I wonder if anyone is at Nina's grave. So no. We'll have completed our full rounds before 7 o'clock in the morning. Maria should not be in here. And yes, she is.
My path was called the Return of the Magic. I wanted to claim the power to create a place of miracles and lovely lawlessness.
I wouldn't have lived to see today if not for you. Now if my design works, I will be able to revive the town. I'm grateful to you, my love. I'll never forget it. What are you planning to do? The polyhedron will become for the new town what the abattoir used to be for the old one. A hub, a nursing organ, a source of vital power, and the origins of its history. Isn't it too fragile to become a foundation? It is a prism. It will refract sun rays, focusing them and inseminating the other bank of the river with its blessed warmth. It will all be about the solar cycle. Spots will shift and move following the laws of every calendar. Are you going to remove the children from the polyhedron? What will happen to it? The polyhedron, the beginning and the starting point of the new town, can accumulate childhood and its own magic. Routes, space, and structures that will stretch from the polyhedron will be able to ignite other flames in people who have left the tower. Can it all be truly possible? Can you really do it? I am not alone. Moreover, I'm not showing you my real power. You're leaving today, aren't you? So remember me for who I was. Remember me not as the Scarlet Mistress, able to grab your life, ignite you, and drag your whole being along, but as a girl with her life hanging by a thread. Don't forget that your destiny hasn't been determined yet. It is still hanging by a thread. Yep. Every single person on Daniel's side is, like, very problematic.
Tell me what you want, and I will tell you who you are.
You saved my life, dear doctor. Thank you. My life is crucial to feeding another one. Do not rebuke me for my untimely selfishness. I have a chance to put it to good use in the near future. What are you going to do with your life, Judge? Tell me. I've already done what I wanted. My life expectancy was low anyway. Why should I stretch my last days, accumulate diseases, and grow to become a burden for my relatives? No. The best thing I could do now is to give way to my niece. You're fading away quickly, Judge. Life is leaving you. How much do you have left? Not much. But I do not need much. Pretty soon the spirit will find a more worthy vessel than this old body. What about your spirit? What happens to you, Judge? Does my spirit matter compared to Simon's? It's not going to stay long in the specular trap either. It's not even cozy there. When the new town is founded, Simon will dissolve into it, I'm sure. Your mind is going, Judge. I do like the ability to tell everyone off and then save the polyhedron anyway. I feel like I'm not doing it for any of you.
My path was called the Mistress. I should have held on to the memory of my wife for the town.
What are you going to do with your life? Tell me. It's simple. I won't be staying here long. When everything is finished and I make sure that my daughter has become the Scarlet Mistress, I'll relocate to Focus. I belong there. What will happen to this place? Here's how it's going to be. The town on this bank of the river will be deserted. A new town will be built on the other bank of Gorkin. A town bigger, freer, and more beautiful. The people who will have found shelter in the specular cocoon will become its new inhabitants. Everything will change for the better. Last question. Tell me about Nina. She was a radiantly beautiful woman. Dark chestnut with an intricate hairdo. Her eyes were deep and of the color of French plum. Her features were noble. Her only failing was the tendency to blow her nostrils, but that was hardly noticeable. They were thin and tight and elegant. That is excusable. What else? She was carefully minding her P's and Q's. She had an imperial deportment. Nina was very tall, and her waist was so thin that a man could clasp it with his 2 palms. She liked cinnamon and black cherry. Would that be enough? I see you loved her very much. Seems like he misses her a lot. She has nothing. It's 5 o'clock. Things usually happen at 7, so we're going to sleep till then. Today is the final day. You have less than 14 hours to make the right choice. Total death toll 7,344. Day 12. In which it finally becomes apparent what it was all about. Still nothing from you, correct? Okay. No new letters. Just the quest to go to the cathedral. Have I missed anyone? Bad grief. Alexander Savarov. The foreman is not an option. He's dead. Katerina, Lara, Yulia, Anna, Aspedy, Ruben. All of Clara's are alive, except for Foreman O'Young. Artemy wants to support Capella, the White Mistress. His bound are Taya, Notkin, Grace, Murky and Sticky, and Khan. I don't know Murky. And then my own Georgie, Victor, Andre, Peter, Maria, Ava, and Mark. Murky is one of the children for sure, because he's one of Artemy's bound, but I don't think I've ever met him. I don't know where he would live. I suppose we'll check on Khan. Haruspeck's proposal. I was told you were looking for an alternative way, Oinon. I know what we must do. We have no other choice but to offer an inordinate sacrifice. Doing so is still the most humane thing that can be done. If you think you can trust my judgment, come see me and I will tell you the details of it. I'm running out of time. So much has happened recently that I feel as if I'm being torn in two. Help me. Won't let me in to check on Khan. That's fine. Let's go find Artemy. He's going to tell me to destroy the polyhedron. He's not going to explain how that cures everyone. The way his medicine works, it could turn everyone in the town into carriers, and then whenever a train comes in, there's a chance it outbreaks somewhere else. Long walk to Artemy. Narsti, I agree. I don't just about, and by save the world, we mean probably kill another couple thousand people. But we will stop the disease. Letter from the powers that be. Bachelor, we thought we should write because you don't seem to be listening to what we tell you. You've gotten out of hand. As of late, you keep doing whatever you please. This is unacceptable. You're spoiling the game. If this letter reaches you in good time, do come to the polyhedron. They will let you inside. Keep your eyes tightly closed, descend to the bottom, and say 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes. We'd like to have a little chat with you. The people who own you. Night Owl, the way this game has been, we will probably not save more than we kill, but we will save the children. And a new town can be built, and people will propagate there. Some business first. Long walk. Yeah, that's definitely the idea, Night Owl. Some terrible people will consolidate power to rebuild the world in a new utopia. But they make no thought about the people they will sacrifice to build that new world. Conversely, the man I'm about to go talk to is going to try to argue with me that we could save the people by destroying the only thing that was worthwhile in the town at all. Clara wants to meet with me too. Do you remember the letter I sent you? The time has come. The victory I am trying to lead you to is not enabled by reason. It is made possible by faith alone. You cannot prove it, you can only feel it deep within your heart. I am in the left wing of the termitary, so come along if you want to talk. My plan is the only one that will work. Nothing has to die. Clara. So the one good thing that Artemy Barak, the Haruspex, who I'm going to speak to with soon, the one good thing he wants to destroy is the Polyhedron, giant spire that we'll see in a little bit, that kept all of the children safe. 700 children inside it, safe throughout the entirety of the plague. It is also miraculous by design. An impossible structure.
What?
Hope you're happier than I am, Oinon. So you have mustered up the resolve to... What about you? I'm in doubt, Oinon. All this time I've been walking between two paths, hoped that eventually they will converge into one, but they went into different directions. I know how to preserve the town without risks. I could have shown you the proof I've promised. I was a bit short on time. And tell me how you would do this. I would destroy the Polyhedron. This is the price that has to be paid for procuring enough raw material to create tons of panacea. I would keep the settlement, of course. An abandoned, dangerous place is 100-fold worse than an inhabited one that's ruled with resolve. So you would demolish the Polyhedron. That's your price for saving the town, but how would this powder keg of a settlement be ruled? I would tackle the hardest task myself, ruling the dome that's covering the depths. The living part that has a protective crust I'd pass over to the new generation of rulers brought up by Capella. If another outbreak ever happens, we'll have enough panacea to nip the epidemic in the bud. See, that's just bad medicine. Your panacea is mostly boiled blood. It will go bad. The last outbreak was 5 years ago. The next generation of rulers, you mean your bound children? Yes, exactly. Olgumskaya has marked them, and her mark is not of this world. She is never wrong. Say, if you took it upon yourself to take care of them, I'd have the time to prepare my arguments before evening and could attend to the council well prepared. But Changeling has ruined them, and now some of them are dying. Suppose I could help them? Really? Then I could present the commander with arguments in favor of a proposal that will preserve the town at the cost of destroying the tower. This is a wise arrangement, and, as my heart tells me, a lasting one. I'm thinking about the future of my community. What do you need for that? I will be present at the council if I know for sure that the children Capella has entrusted me with are alive. Then the time I've been meaning to spend making my rounds, I'll instead spend on preparing my evidence. Will you help me with my bound? I will. Do you have your panacea? No, Oinon, I don't. That's the problem. I'm out of panacea. I'll have to use the last flask and the last batch of ingredients at the council as an argument in favor of my proposal. I'll try to think of something. Oh, okay. One last list of his bound. I suppose we'll go talk to Clara, get the last list of her bound, make sure everybody gets to come to the cathedral. She's in the termitary. That's a weird place for her. Yes, it makes sure that I need to walk all the way through town one last time. I can't go this way. Talk to Clara, then to the Polyhedron, to talk to the powers that be. Let's get everything. very desolate. This is, I want to point out that this is the last day, and for the last day, there are no plague clouds, there are no diseased buildings, there are no burglars. The town is empty for me to be free to walk through it one last time. This is what the town looks like on its best day. This is what the Haruspecs and Clara are trying to preserve in one form or another. What's going to happen is the army has brought a giant cannon. They want to destroy whatever the source of the plague was. I am going to tell them that there are blood clots deep in the soil from when this area was used to sacrifice bulls way in the past. And that blood is congealed and is the source of the plague. And they will fire their cannon and level the entire village. They will leave the polyhedron alone. A new town will be built by the town's leaders on the other side of the river, under the light of the polyhedron. Left wing of the termitary. Clara, this is the weirdest place to ask me to meet you. Inquisitor's reminder. Tonight at 7, proceedings will be held at the town cathedral. I earnestly request your attendance. You will introduce your argument before this obtuse commander in order to substantiate our, I should hope, decision. I also ask you to put all your current affairs in order before the proceedings. The situation is at a stalemate. Whatever authority I wield is not enough to guarantee that the right decision is enforced. P.S. I rely upon your discretion, as well as your decency. Glia Lilac, Inquisitor. Yes, Night Owl. It is their version of Nuke It from orbit. Is she... She can't be with Mother Superior. Mother Superior is on the right side. Clara, where are you? I'm gonna check every room in this building. And then find out she's outside. You know, if anyone was going to lay a trap for me, it would be Clara, so... She's not here. Okay. It's wild that this is the one place that doesn't seem cleaned up at all. Okay, we're just gonna check every room. And do a full loop. We'll find her eventually. I've got time since I cured everyone at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, for those of us who haven't been following along, this is the termitary. This is the dorms, the living quarters for the meat workers in town. It was locked down early on as soon as the owners knew the plague was real. And instead of telling me so that I could help, they locked everyone in so they would just be sure to die. That's why it looks like this. Not crazy. She said leftmost wing, right? This is the last room. Clara, I don't know where you are. I don't know if I need her to be at the cathedral to get the true super duper secret ending. Check outside. Oh. That door, I don't think it existed before. What is this space? I have never been in this building before. 5 stories? What? Clara, I don't understand the building you're standing in, let alone your story. No, not load. Save.
Neither the town nor the tower have to be sacrificed. Everything can be saved.
Night Owl, that is how I feel about everything involving the Changeling. She gives me bad feelings. She is the final playable character. See how everything turns out? Who could have thought? You have to sacrifice something. Either the town or the polyhedron. One of the queens wants to destroy the Wondrous Tower, while the other seeks to raise as much as possible just to make sure. Do you have a different solution? If my confidants are alive, I will come to the council with you, and there won't be a single queen there that I won't be able to convince to my cause. But are you absolutely sure they are alive? Do you really want me to come to the council? Yes, I'm sure all your bound are well. Come to the cathedral. I'll give you the right to decide. If I let Clara make the final decision, she will force the commander to withdraw his troops and the current situation will remain unchanged. Yet, might a refusal to interfere be seen as a decision in itself? In this case, the town will remain a machine of death, no matter how pretty. Interesting. The way this is laid out makes me think, I need to know where Murky is. Hold on. Murky lives in a railway carriage next to the train station. So not a house, that's why I didn't know where. Let's find Murky and make sure Murky's cured. More walking back and forth through town. Same as it ever was. Now I'm wondering... A couple days ago, the army was executing people out there. A mutiny was happening out by the train station. On my way there were other soldiers that were not a part of that mutiny that also shot me if I got too close, and they were surrounding a train car. It's gotta be this. I might be too late. I might have needed to do something to save Murky several days ago. Find out. If that's the case, I won't go back now. We'll get our ending. No, the plague did not kill all the animals. That's a firing squad. That kinda seems like not my business. Those are leaves, not birds. The town was full of rats while it was full of other things. But the chief industry here is the meat of bulls. And you can hear them mooing in the distance. They're not all dead. I don't think, anyway. Murky is sick, we can cure Murky. Here's the giant cannon. That's what the army brought. person is sick. Murky is sick. We can cure Murky. I don't know anything about Murky. Murky can have a panacea. The bound of the Haruspecs are alive and well. May he be comforted by that. Should have enough time to prepare his argument for the proceedings. Okay, and the other one says Clara will come, so I had cured them all before talking to her. That's good. Everyone is cured. Night Owl, that is the opinion of my character, and largely myself. Even most of the adults that I worked with, the people in charge of the town, are not worth saving. I have 2 cures for the plague. One of them, that was Murky, yeah. Murky is inside there, but I cured them either way. But I have 2 cures for the plague. One is a potion, basically, made of distilled blood, made by the Haruspecs, that just cures you. Just like magic potion style. And the other is a bunch of ground up pills that the children have been playing with that will cure the plague, but absolutely destroy your liver and kidneys. I gave that to a couple of people on purpose. The ex-governor, Alexander Saburov, deserves to suffer in pain. Okay. Now we answer the letter of the powers that be. Let's go to the polyhedron. It's not even noon. Loads of time. Yeah, no wine or beer, just pain and suffering. That's what he deserves. There are other characters that deserved similar and worse fates, but they never got sick. And do another hard save. So this is the polyhedron. This is the impossible structure. This is what Artemy Barak, the Haruspecs, wants to destroy instead of the town. Inside here, 700 children have been completely protected from the plague. I've been inside it. It's almost like it's made out of light. Descend. Con, you good?
It's only too easy to fall into pieces.
Con has been leading the children in here. How do I get further down? See, The children of the town. This whole place is magical light, and they tell me I don't even see all of it. Most of the kids are held in a dream state between mirrors. If any part of this town is magical and alive, this is it. These are the powers that be. Don't be upset. Being a toy is also nice. But why did you play it like this? Why couldn't you have chosen a different game, like tag or something, huh? Because we've been to a funeral. They've been sending us out to the garden for 10 days in a row so that we wouldn't get in anyone's way. They've been taking us to the cemetery for a week now, Bachelor, and if you keep being naughty, I'll take you with me next time and leave among the wreaths so that you know better. Why did you need dolls? Couldn't you have played without us? Well, we did need to find some use for you. We never liked you all that much anyway. You've always been the scary doll. Playing with you was no fun. So you stuck the throwaways into the thick of it. The ones that could fix things. You can't always have a smart doctor man at hand. That's just how the game goes. Will you help us heal the town? I'll heal it for my own sake, not for yours. Hey, look, it's Bachelor. Wow, he's so big. How did you find us? They've already told you, right? So the powers that be are you. I want you to tell me everything. No problem. What do you want to know? What diabolical game are you playing? Look, it's a magic sandbox. See how it reflects in the mirrors? It's because everything's for real there. Here's a town. We've made it out of sand. And there's this awful thing going on there. An epidemic. So it's all crumbling. The town is falling apart. But we've sent heroes there to fix it. Fix it. It's rotting, see? Ew. We hoped they'd think of something. Mirror it in sand, at least. They're magical too, you know. The heroes are. Take you, for example. Look how it all worked out. You used to be a doll, and now you're alive. Perhaps the rest also work like this? Did you know that your dolls were alive? Everything is alive around here. It's this structure. It brings things to life. It's not like we're twisting anyone's arm, it just happens. All on its own. We only built the town, and then it became miraculous all on its own. And the dolls, we just stuck the throwaway ones in. They were lame anyway. Oops, sorry. Just don't you dare crush anything here, I'll try to fix it. Daniel Denkovsky's mission. Indeed, it was a sandbox plague. The children who were playing there must have been on their way home from the funeral. A sorrowful game may have seemed an appropriate diversion to them, or maybe they simply felt their childhood was slipping away. One way or another, the hero has been bitterly deceived. All this time, the hero took himself to be a living man who was trying to rescue his fellow human beings. Beyond doubt, this belief has filled him with fervor, helped him to reach the finale, and even be somewhat triumphant. In vain. It was all in vain. The hero was but a puppet, striving to help the imaginary population of a town that was nothing more than a drawing. Strangely, there's still not a word to be heard from the powers that be. Perhaps they became bored of it all, or were called back home for supper. That's the big secret ending. We're just a doll in a sandbox being played with children. A letter from the makers. Please do come by to meet us at the theater if you have a spare minute. We'd like to have a rather inconsequential but mature talk with you. We apologize in advance for the inconvenience. The people who executed the whole thing. I did it. I saved everyone. So, I knew about this before I started playing. And it's worth pointing out that you only get to meet the kids if you save one of the other characters' important people as well. And with that, you only get to meet the makers after saving everyone's bound. Okay. So let's go to the theaters. Let's see the ones behind it all. Night Owl, Seahawk, you might remember my very first stream. The game starts in a theater with the three main characters arguing about how to defeat the plague. But importantly, they're not talking like people or doctors. They're talking like actors. And this is just coming full circle to peel all that away. And after all this, we get to take Daniel's ending anyway. To the theater. Yes, exactly, Seahawk. I suspect most people who play the game at this point know about the secret endings. But it is wild to think that the vast majority of people, the vast majority of people still don't beat this game. I have access to the Steam achievement logs, and even after extra publicity from some very big YouTubers talking about all of the great things about it, only 5% of players make it this far. So, Night Owl, if I just saved the 7 people important to my character, I wouldn't have gotten to meet those children. I would just go to the cathedral and tell the commander to shoot the town. But by saving all of the important NPCs in town, I get to do this as well. Come in. They're waiting for you. Take my coat and bag. The hero is a doll, but so are the children. The real game is what's happening between you and us. I cannot leave Bachelor's body. You are imposing your limits upon me. Bachelor has lost his battle for freedom since the very day he was born. What about you? I wanted to stop the epidemic, even a make-believe one. But did you understand what the epidemic really was? It was truly rather obvious. A toy danger that ravaged a toy town. Was the disease the true evil, though? The disease is only a method, the weapon of evil, just like a scalpel in Bachelor's hands. The disease will go, devouring itself. Then there will be war, famine, heresy. Was it really worth all the effort? Look around. All this for a single wretched town? No, it was the town that had been built for you, not the other way around. We apologize if it's been a disappointment. So you're curious as to what fate I will choose for the town. We have to make sure that it's truly you who is making the decision. Are you absolutely positive that your choice is not predetermined by anyone or anything? Could it have been otherwise? Oh, absolutely. When every step you take has been predicted, you are still free to either take it or not. When it has been foreseen, however, you remain a mere puppet in someone else's hands. I don't care. I'll do as I see fit. That is precisely what we are waiting for. I will be the one to say the final word. You see how sad our fortune is? We put all our hopes in you. We poor actors were hoping you'd become the director of a new show. The old one has been beaten to death, but you turned out to be a doll. But I am not a doll. Did I hear you right? Who is it speaking? It's me, the player. Oh, then I apologize profusely. You are definitely not a doll. But that seems to be unhelpful for our hero now. He is humiliated, crushed, but most importantly, he is deprived of the power that we have all hoped for. By the way, are you still willing to take responsibility for him? Yes, he's my responsibility. I will stay with him to the very end. His words shall be my words. His deeds shall be my deeds. Well, then I apologize once again. Perhaps not all is lost yet. Let's wait for the finale and see if the day brings any surprises. We still have a chance to play in a drama with an unpredictable story. Watch me act. So I don't know if that made sense to anybody else, but I think that's super cool. That is the game at the very end acknowledging itself. Let's go to the cathedral. It's time to end this. Yes, exactly, Night Owl. When the game was new, the vast majority of people would have gotten none of this, but if you had played really, really well, you get to find out the whole thing was fake. It's like finding out that the movie, at the end, it was all someone's dream. And that was obviously very upsetting, but I do love that conversation right there, where they're like, of course it was. It's a video game. You're sitting at a computer right now. Why would you let them upset you? I like the acknowledgement that at any point, I could have given up and just stopped. That in fact, at some points, that was kind of the point of the game. Okay, I'm too early. Needs to be 7 o'clock. I don't know that I have a lot of food. We'll eat the peanuts. That's fine. We can drink water and take a nap and come back this evening. getting back to the different endings, there are 3 playable characters. They all get their own ending. But by saving the bound of the other characters, I can choose their endings instead. It's 1 o'clock, everything happens at 7. I actually do need like 6 hours of sleep. Well, sleep 5 just to make sure. And then I can go stand in front of it. Do you switch between playing the other characters? No, you choose at the start. So I have 2 more whole playthroughs of this game. Each playthrough should give me a very different perspective. What is this? There's an item on the ground? There's a bottle. Oh, it's an empty bottle from when I drank the water. That's fine. Okay. We wait. Yeah, 2 more trips to the meat grinder is correct. This playthrough is recommended as the first one to start, although you can play as Artemy the Haruspex first as well. But with this one, Bachelor Dankovsky is an outsider from the town, so you get to learn about the town that way. Artemy is from this town, so for my playthrough of that, I, the player, am already familiar with the layout of the town and the people in it, and that helps inform his playthrough. And then for Clara, playing as her, yes, this is considered the easy playthrough. Playing as Clara, you need to have completed the game with one of the other characters first before it'll even let you play as her. And she is some kind of mystic psychic, so the game gets meta because I, as the player, already know things the way that she would already know things. So it plays around with a lot of that. It is definitely convoluted, that is correct. It's convoluted and confusing, and the text is a lot of reading. It is extremely philosophical, but I am very glad that I have done this. We will quickly get to 7 o'clock. Make sure we don't crazy oversleep. There we go. Alright, beakhead. Let me in the cathedral. Come, Bachelor, the Assembly is awaiting your decision. The queens of this chessboard are in a deadlock. They have each other pinned down. The game may very well end in a tragic stalemate. You are a pawn at the finish line. Deliver your checkmate, mate. Do I hear laughter from under your ugly beak? Funny. Now everything will be decided. The Inquisitor lass seems to think she has used you. Confused? Don't you fret. She's also nothing. Everything was leading to this. You are now acting in the interest of inevitability. You can't get away from it. Evil conquers all. Make way. Part of me's not here. Strange.
Neither the town nor the tower have to be sacrificed. Everything can be saved.
Talk to Maria.
I often feel like someone's looking at us from the other side.
I knew you would come. When will you begin to execute your design, Maria? I've already begun, my Daniel. When the night falls and the wind scatters the smoke above the scorched earth and the dust of the buildings demolished settles, you will see several new constellations light up in the sky. They will plunge their light towards us, and when the first specks of this light reach the constellations of the polyhedron, a miracle will happen. What will they be like? How are you going to call them? I'll see, but I expect them to be mostly red. Ruby, scarlet, crimson, carmine, merlot, mahogany, vermilion, garnet, rose, pink, burgundy. Perhaps you may even notice something familiar in the structure of these constellations. Where will these constellations come from? They have existed for a long time already. People just couldn't see them before because their light was hurrying towards us from far beyond. Now the first rays of these stars are about to reach our surfaces. We will see their light reflected in the specular planes of the preserved polyhedron. Why are you here, Maria? You ask strange questions. Don't you see that this is my town now? I am the power here. I am the mother, and since I am to give birth to a new town, I want to witness the demise of the old one. This is my duty. I am the last of the Cains. What about your brother? Are you going to share your power with him? There's nothing to be done about it. They have to free up the space for the new guests. My brother will become embittered, betray me, and rebel against me, but I will find a way to deal with him. He will cower behind Capella's back willingly when my mother's eyes frown and glare at him. Have you become a mistress already? No, I haven't. You won't see it here unless you're planning to stay, of course. I won't. I'll leave the town on the military train at dawn.
There's little time left.
I am indeed powerless, as you can see. I'm accused of having arranged your discovery. I've lost my vote of confidence. So tell them whose discovery it is, for the laurels are yours. Are you in doubt? Your diabolical deception was so simple, the cause and the source. It's so easy to put these very different things together, Inquisitor, but they are not the same. In this case, they are. It's strange that you have failed to see that. This place is a utopia. That is, an abuse of nature. The utopia must be destroyed. It is evil. What is a utopia, Aglaia? Let's talk for the last time. What is provoking your hatred so much? I am a humanitarian. My duty is to save people, not to kill them. I only condemn a few to death for the sake of the many. Now I am offering you to save the happiness of several thousands, hardly shedding any blood at all. A utopia will demand more and more sacrifices, you know. Even this utopia. But why do you think this place is a utopia? Nobody conducts social experiments here. Look, this place is more natural than nature. Utopias are usually constructed to embody perfect justice, liberty, or economical thrift. This one, however, is different. This town is not a place that does not exist. It is a place that cannot exist, mustn't exist. Here is where the cause and the source are the same. Do elaborate on that, please. I'm still failing to understand where you see the root of all evil. Our country holds the absolute record on experimental utopia designs, and this is a feature that should be interpreted at its absolute virtue. Social masterpieces are rare, but they do happen, and they don't have to be accidental. Indeed. However, somehow they never seem to live long. Now, at the dawn of the current century, there are almost none left. One gets the impression that there is no country that would imbue its inhabitants with inner force simply because they happen to inhabit it. There have been examples of this, but they've all been destroyed. Why? I do not know. Let's get back to the matter at hand. A wonderful town is suddenly beginning to die, no one knows why. Why this one? The one that has managed to produce a wonder. The most curious, the most mysterious, inhabited by the most talented people. What did they do to deserve this? I'll tell you. I'm all ears. At the persistent pleasure of the capricious powers that be, the miracle that has been accidentally embodied as the polyhedron is forced to stay, captured by the flesh of the town that has nurtured it, feeding it with its resources, people, and hot blood. This flesh has become its womb and its prison. You're being too metaphoric. What does that have to do with my choice and the epidemic? Enslaved miracles die not out of anyone's malice. That's just their nature. You can't hold a miracle with your hands. You can only hold its corpse. The idea is not new. Let us have a closer look at the disease, the embodiment of this logic. Is it good or evil? Why has it come to the town? Do you consider it to be good? Why did you come to the town at the same time, then? You are, by all definitions, a hero, a miracle maker almost. It was the powers that be that have tried to make you detain a miracle here, not the poor obsessed Cains. They've only played their part. They represent their own force, but you... Do you really want to go back to being a slave? The powers that be are bending you to submission according to their own design. You are obsessed with revenge, Aglaia. Revenge is a bad companion in the search for the truth. Then tell him, Daniel. There he stands, waiting for your word. A puppet just like... Guide his weapons. No one has heard a single word of recommendation from me yet. I'm relying on you completely, just like I said, and heed my warnings. I remember everything we talked about. Be silent.
Your weapon security must be tightened.
So, Bachelor, it was neither greed, nor plotting, nor circumstance that has informed your choice, but your conscience alone. I've been given orders to level everything here, but if that's not necessary, I'm willing to trust your judgment, risking my life and honor, for I am merciful. Where shall I point the weapon? Let the settlement be destroyed. There is no reason to hurt the polyhedron. The survivors will find shelter there until we vaccinate them and the epidemic dies out. So you think that the town is doomed? I do. The soil underneath is soaked with poison. We're very lucky that the ground here is so fastidious. Plow every inch of it up with the shells, shake it and pull its rocks out, split it into cracks so that no one would ever dare re-inhabit this land. This side of the river is uninhabitable. I see. And you believe that the tower will make it through the bombardment despite its base being so thin? Yes. The tower must keep its balance. I've studied its structure and I'm inclined to believe that it's rather earthquake resistant. It's like a weight on a steel spring. If no shell explodes on the opposite bank of the river, the polyhedron will remain intact. Shells will only fall where I point them to fall. Let it be so, then. Can you prove that this is a good way out? I can. Here are my arguments. A bacteria specimen, the vaccine, the blueprints, and the map charting the source of the pest. Are you sure there is nothing else you'd like to tell me? I am sure, Commander. The choice has been made. Let the tower remain whatever the cost. Nothing like it will ever be built again. It is not a mere building, but a symbol. It allows us a hope of a possibility that some false truths of our ill-fated epoch might be overthrown. It is a delicate fortress that holds veritable proof that however well-established our notions of possibility are, they still fail to account for what may or may not exist. This is the bastion I'm willing to fight for. As for the powers that be, they are going to regret their hypocrisy. They were so determined to force me to observe the promise I gave not to disappoint. The town they are so fond of will be reduced to rubble. This I have spoken. I guess now we just wait for midnight. Wild to me that my hunger meter has still, like, been in effect. I want to point out, I have less than 3,000 coins left. I barely made it. I can afford, like, 2 eggs. Not points, coins. The economy fell apart in day 2, because, you know, a plague was hitting. People were stockpiling food. I mean, yes, I'm not real, but it's real enough to him. We may be a doll, but we are alive. That's midnight. No, that's 11. I have another hour. see the town from here. Nah, just let it happen. I guess. I feel like I've done it all. Now would be a terrible time to learn about fall damage. That is correct. I am so deeply looking forward to my next playthrough. This is one of the hardest games I have ever played for lots of different reasons. I have had many discussions and thoughts and dreams about this game. It is deeply infuriating in an incredibly satisfying way. All that said, I feel like the Bachelor playthrough is designed to appeal to a Western suburban mindset as much as possible. It is very easy for me to get into the same space as Bachelor Dankovsky, where everyone else is wrong. They just don't know enough to hate the town and its practices. To the point where it's not even worth trying to understand them. I wonder if some of the characters who died on this run are guaranteed to die in the other runs. I can't decide which of the Olginskis I hate more. Big Vlad was a terrible capitalist who would kill everyone to make another dollar. But little Vlad wanted to be Big Vlad. I feel like that's worse. He knew everything his father was and still chose to support him. Yep. 10 more in-game minutes. Almost there. We're very close. I don't know what I'm going to do if the game doesn't end. Go to the trains? Do I need to go to the cannon? The town is destroyed. That's the good ending.
You did it. It was a free choice. We acknowledge the victory of the player.
It is indeed miraculous. The exit is clear. It shouldn't have happened. The miracle must be real.
Leave stage left, like I always do. That's it. That's the game. Absolutely wild. Yep, that's winning. That's winning. Pathologic 2 actually already exists. And I will get through all of this and then I will play that too. Pathologic 2, as of right now, only has one of the 3 playthroughs, although the second playthrough is coming any second now. Yeah, it sort of exists. Anyway, if any part of this was at all interesting, I recommend HBomberGuy's Pathologic is amazing, and here's why. Codex Entry's Bachelor Route playthrough videos, which there are 2. And you are welcome to watch my VODs. They are on my YouTube. I recommend watching them at 1.25 speed because it's long. Yeah, that's 100% correct. The only way to win is not to play. Which is kind of like, that is the meta. I think that is part of Clara's whole problem. I think Clara is aware that she is in the game the whole time. That she only exists because the game exists. Therefore, she might as well be the plague. Because the plague doesn't exist if she doesn't. It is extremely hard to follow Seahawk, I understand. It is I compare it to Ulysses a lot when I try to explain this to other people. Or like Moby Dick, where a book that's very hard to read, where you need a dictionary nearby, and it helps to have additional notes from other people, a club to help discuss it to properly understand the text. This is that in game form. That as a game, it is difficult to finish and harder to understand. But that is part of the point. I sincerely cannot recommend anyone play this. Yeah, it's entirely too much work to play. Absolutely. That said, Pathologic 2 is the kind of thing you can play. This is a pain simulator. This was made in part to mess with me, the player. Pathologic 2 is not. It's an actual game that you can play and recommend. So if philosophy around a dying Russian town in a plague sounds like something you want to dig into, Pathologic 2 is absolutely worthwhile. But I should say, it's still not fun. Like a movie that is very good but about a rough subject. It is like Requiem for a Dream. It is not fun. Doesn't make it not good. If you are looking for fun, Pathologic is nowhere near that in any form. Thank you for joining in for the finale. I do appreciate it. Have a good night. I'm gonna let the credits roll. The most special thanks of all. Well, next week we start the Haruspex run. I have no idea what's going to happen. Good night. 9 voice actors is not enough. I know it is not unusual for voice actors to do multiple roles in the same game, but there are a lot of very different characters. I am surprised. Wild to see no last names on these Cosmo color tunes. Saying staying still completely in universe, it is hard to argue with the Bachelor ending for me. Oh, it just stopped. Okay, that's it. Alright, well, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.